I don't get it. I really don't understand, man. It is Shawn C, the Black Eric Foreman, back in the building again with another video, and I'm asking the question today: does 21 Savage need to be savage? So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine like 2 days ago, and 21 Savage came up. He showed me this picture of 21 supporting Amber Rose on her whole little walk, and I was like, you know, what's the big deal? What's the problem? And his first argument to me was, I feel like 21 Savage isn't hard enough. For those of you who don't know, 21 Savage is an artist that has been known for his hostile way of rapping. His emotionless, lack of empathetic style and flow is what got him to the point and the image that people put on him now. He's not the first person that's been able to do this. I mean, we got rappers in the past that have been known for a really hostile way of rapping, a really hostile mentality, and, you know, just painting their lives in such a light that you really wouldn't want to be involved in it, but you like hearing about it. But I feel like this argument really needs to end, because I don't think people understand the severity of the lifestyle that some of these artists are rapping about. Like, when I look at 21 Savage, I picture a guy who I would be clapping for and rooting for to get out of the situation that he's in. Anybody who knows about these types of situations knows that it's not fun. Nobody likes waking up every day looking over their shoulder, not knowing if the person next to you is somebody you can actually trust, having to prove yourself every time you leave your house. Nobody likes having to do that. There are people who glorify it, of course, and so the fans think it's cool, like, oh man, you know, this is a nice lifestyle. People, of course, who've never been a part of it are the main ones who want to root and pioneer for this type of behavior, especially his fan base, because they are the main ones who are calling him soft now. It's the most annoying argument in the world too, because like I said, you're listening to people online who've never lived this lifestyle, that constantly want to live vicariously through you and your music, to hear you talk about it. How is a person who's never been involved in violence want to hear about it so bad? And it's not like for educational purposes, like, oh, I want to know because I really want to know about this lifestyle that I never lived. It's for like entertainment factor, like, entertain me with, you know, your life. Tell me the amount of lives that you've taken and entertain me with that. Like, that's what I want to hear about. Like, really? One of the bigger... Hold up. One of the main reasons people have recently been calling 21 Savage a bit of a softie is partially because of how popularized his relationship with Amber Rose has become. First of all, let me just stop you right there. If you've ever been involved with a woman, any kind of female, you end up developing somewhat of a soft side to appease her. Even if that's not how you naturally are, you develop that naturally. But there are people that are saying Amber Rose is the reason that 21 Savage is the way he is, and that's just not the case. You can't blame your girl if you eat her ass. Like, you were an ass eater before, most likely. She just brought that quality out of you. Anything that you're willing to do after a relationship is something that you were willing to do before it. This person just brought it out of you, but you were gonna do it regardless. That's who you were. So this isn't a quality that 21 Savage developed in response to his relationship with Amber Rose. These are things that he would naturally do anyway. He just needed the woman to bring it out. I know there are a lot of people that don't know any kind of, you know, romance or any kind of quality outside of another man or another male, but when this happens, these things occur. I know it's shocking, just don't fight it. People are afraid for his image. Like I said, the biggest annoyance with this argument is why it's a question in the first place. Why are people who aren't involved in this lifestyle calling him soft or saying that you need to toughen up? These are comments from people who've never been involved in this lifestyle, so why are you commenting on it? This is, as I said before, the detriment in rapping about any kind of hardcore lifestyle, because people hold you to that, okay? People are gonna want to go out in the street, or they're gonna want to see you, they're gonna want to test you, and it's up to you to maintain that same lifestyle that you've been toting in your music. Now, that doesn't mean that 21 Savage has abandoned his lifestyle simply because he got with Amber Rose. You just might not hear about it as much because he might be in a better place, and, you know, as his fans, I would assume that you would want him to be in this happy space, but I guess you guys just want him to be miserable and talk about this the whole time. Did it occur to any of you guys that 21 Savage is only 24 years old? You want this man to be miserable his entire life? Because I don't care how much you want to glorify that life. It's miserable. It's miserable. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody. You do it because you have to, not because you want to. There will be no story to tell if this was easy. There will be no story to tell or anything to rap about if this was a glorified lifestyle. Because you don't see people going around in the rap game talking about, I got both parents. My dad took me to school every day. I went to private school. Like, you don't hear artists talking about that. Like, no one glorifies that life because it's an easy life. Or it's not something that people would define as going through any hardship. And as far as people who are saying this new kind of way of life that 21 Savage is exposing for himself, saying that it could be a detriment, I don't see how. If you rap about the street and people hold you to the street in the street, and now you're talking about something totally different, there's nobody that's gonna try you. I think people assume that if you aren't always talking about this, that you've somehow forgotten about it and that you won't go back to that place to let them know I'm still here. There's no doubt in my mind that 21 Savage is still a savage, but let him enjoy his life. Let him enjoy the fruits of his labor. Do you want this man to just be like this all the time? That's why you've annoyed artists like Vince Staples constantly wanting to hear about gangster rap. Like, nobody wants to talk about it all the time. People were really shaming this man on social media for doing something in support of his woman. Like I said, I don't know if their relationship is real or not, but for the sake of the video, let's say it's 100% real and there's no doubt in my mind. What would make him hard to you? Going up to every person at that walk and beating them? Or even better, going up to Las Vegas and shooting up 500 people and killing 58 of them? Would you prefer him do that? Would that make him hard? You guys need to be careful what you ask for. And you need to consider who you're asking for it from. I know 21 has given himself this image, but if at any point he decides that he wants to change it or adapt to a new way of life, you should welcome the change, but not assume that because he's doing this now that all of a sudden he's forgotten everything that's happened to him in the past. And while I'm not personally a fan of every piece of music that he releases, you guys saw my initial thoughts on the Issa album, you should at the very least be understanding, whether it be the street or being in an actual relationship. I know a lot of you guys in these forums and a lot of you in the comments don't know what that is, but it's when a man and a woman. So am I surprised by this behavior? No. I know exactly how he feels, and I would not question his savagery simply because he's in a relationship now. I don't feel the need to. It's impossible to go through this life without contradicting yourself at one point, and a relationship is one of the best ways in the world to contradict yourself. A lot of people end up doing things that they said they'd never do once they get in that relationship, so don't talk to me about, oh, is he soft now? Shut the fuck. 21 Savage just needs to live his life and evolve as an artist. That's all he needs to do. I don't know him personally, so he doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't owe you fans anything. He owes it to himself to be true to himself, to evolve, to grow, and I think it's a good growth point. I think to evolve from or emerge from this lifestyle and do something different or hopefully become a better or a happier person is commendable. With everything that's going on in the world right now, why you would want to continue to see further violence for no reason is beyond me. It's been Shawn C, aka the Black Eric Foreman. I'll see you next time. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.